Hello all and welcome back to another video. Today I am coming to you with another drag makeup tutorial as requested. So you read the title, you know what's going on. Young Frankenstein happens to be one of my favorite movies. It's a really huge comfort movie of mine, especially now in these very odd times, and Gene Wilder does an incredible job as Frederick Frankenstein. I did a look based off of it about 2 months ago. It got really good reception, so I'm gonna show you how I do it. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm actually going to be doing a voiceover for this part, just for time's sake. This look takes about 45 minutes to an hour to do, and if I had done it in real time, like stopping and starting to explain, this video would have been obscenely long. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing you want to do is get your hair out of your face, put your primer on, your concealer. Now, I'm using these reference photos. It's important to get a few from the front and a few from the side. Sometimes even finding paintings or drawings of the person is helpful because it makes it 2D and easier to follow on kind of a makeup level. It's like painting on a canvas. I actually found this really great print by the artist Sunday Dog Parade on Etsy that I found really helpful in the past when doing this look. So when doing a look based off a real person, I always start with the nose and the brows. It actually helps to start in the middle of the face and then work out from my experience. This part took a little bit longer than I expected, so I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. So here I'm carving out that really distinct nose shape that Gene Wilder has, and since my nose kind of goes up a little bit at the end and his is more like curve going down, I'm going to highlight that entire front side of the nose to give that illusion. Now I'm going to outline that brow shape, and I always start with the shape first, then color it in. If you're making your eyebrow a lot thicker than it usually is, then it sometimes helps to put some dark mascara. I didn't do it for this time, but it helps if you're going to be doing a lot of close-up shots. Now for Gene, there actually is a bit of space in between his eyelid and his eyebrow, so I'm going to add some white powder under there. So Gene Wilder has these very round eyes that are rounder than mine, so the way that you can give that illusion is by actually adding an angular shadow on the top of your eye like I'm doing right here. I'm also going to add some white on my waterline to give that round shape at the end. And what I just did there by covering the mouth is a helpful trick I use when recreating real faces. It kind of helps me focus on just the parts that I've done and be able to ask myself, like, if I took a photo only showing the top half of my face, would people know who I am? Frederick Frankenstein also wears a bit of mascara, so I'm adding a touch of dark brown eyeshadow under it, around the sides of the eyes to make that slight slope. I'm also adding a bit of dark eyeshadow that he uses under the eyes just to give it that tired look that his character has. Once we're happy with that, I'm going to move on to the mouth area. So I'm going to go over my whole mouth in concealer since Gene has a lot thinner lips than me, so I'm going to draw on new ones. So all you gotta do is just do what I'm doing, cover your whole mouth in concealer, dab that with some setting powder, and take a dark pink or a brown eyeshadow and start making that cut over your real lip and drawing on your new one. I usually only go super dark on the top lip and leave the bottom lip a little bit lighter to make it look a little bit more like a shadow and less that I just painted my top lip. Then I'm going to go in a little bit on my bottom lip, just create that shape, make it a little thinner. Now I'm going to go in and start making that outline of the mustache shape. Again, I always start with an outline and then I just color it in later. I use a thin brush that it can create those little streaks that make it look like real hair. Don't worry if it doesn't look 100% realistic. That's not super important when creating a super exaggerated look like this. You can also bring the mustache down a bit and have the bottom edge of your mustache kind of rest on your real lip line. That makes it look a little bit more realistic in my experience. You could also go the extra mile if you wanted by taking a regular lace back mustache and just cutting it into the shape that you want. Then I'm going to go in with a thin brush and add those dark streaks right along the inside and around the edges to give it that more natural look and make it pop. Here I'm just cleaning it up with a little bit of concealer, just cleaning up those edges. Now I'm gonna go a bit with a little mascara just to really accentuate the peach fuzz that everybody has, give it a little bit more of a realistic look. Again, not supposed to be 1000% realistic, but you get the idea, whatever. Alright, now we're gonna go into the smile lines. You're gonna go in with a similar color that you did with your nose and your eye bags. Then you're gonna create those two dark streaks and go over it with a slightly lighter color, and then go over each side of it in a light highlighter to give it the 3D look. Then I'm going to go into the chin shape. So Jean has a much squarer chin than me, so I'm going to carve a flatter line on the bottom of the chin and then start making these upward cheekbone streaks from it that give the illusion of a square chin. Then I'm going to go in on the sideburns in a light brown color, lighter than my natural hair because I will be using a wig for this look. I'm following the natural line of my cheekbones that I made to bring it all together and make it look like every part of the face is working with each other. And it looks like we're about done. The costume itself can be super easy. The easiest is just a white dress shirt and a wide collar and a black blazer or jacket. I'm going to be using this custom wig by the SF Queen Lama Prieta. It is a drag wig, so it is a little bit bigger and more exaggerated, but I'm still happy with how it turned out.
That brain that you gave me, was it Hans Delbrooks? No. Ah. Good. Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
And you won't be angry?
I will not be angry.
Abby someone.
Abby someone. Abby who?
Abby Normal.
Abby Normal.
I'm almost sure that was the name.
And there you go. This is how you do it. As always, I will leave my social media in the description below. Comment, ring the little bell for notifications. I'm going to try and post more regularly, so if you want to know, you want to know. And I will see you all in the next video.